So anyway, 2006 to present, our company and any company who you hire to do an energy audit, if you go to getenergysmart.org, that's the company, that's NYSERDA's arm, but basically that's where you can find the list of local contractors and retrofitters that will be able to do a home energy audit. There's a certain level of affiliations and accreditations you have to have. That's a good place to start. We like to support local vendors. I hope you guys are the same way, and that's a good place to start. So anyway, so 2006 to present, we're Energy Star accredited contractors, BPI, Building Performance accredited contractors, NAHB, National Association of Home Builders, Certified Green Builders, ResNet, thermography, the whole thing. Let's get to the good stuff. Your house is a living person. It lives and breathes. You have, this looks, maybe not, your house isn't as open as this house, but you probably have a laundry room and a furnace and bathrooms and an entry foyer and a bedroom and an attic. And depending upon the time of year, depending upon literally the wind direction, depending upon the occupants, depending upon if you have pets, your house is a living and breathing system. One of the basic principles of how a house lives and breathes is what's known as the stack effect. If you notice the blue arrows are typically air coming in, and your house is usually breathing like this. It starts at the bottom and the air rises and heads up. So if you were to use a pressure gauge, which is called a manometer, and if you go to our display, you can actually see a little mock house that we've built up. You'll notice that there's a lower pressure here and a higher pressure here. Heat rises, it pulls in air from the basement and from the lower walls, and then air escapes. This is called infiltration and exfiltration. The two key components here, in order of priority, the attic, the basement. On a day like today, you go out and it's cold. What do you want to wear? Anybody? Kayla, a what? Excellent, a jacket. What else? A hat. What else? Gloves. And pretend the house didn't have arms. What would it need besides gloves? Let's say it kind of did this. Oh, I'm sorry? Scarf. How about boots? Right? So you go out in the winter, you want a hat, you want boots, you want a sweater. So you want to wear a hat. Now when I put the hat on, see how all the air coming in through here has stopped? But I'm still letting some air come in over here. The most important thing in your house is your hat. The next important thing are warm boots. But if I put just the boots on there, I'm still getting, the top of my head, right? I'm still getting a lot of air leakage, hot air leaking out of the house. I want a sweater. Now, if your sweater has little holes, it's not such a big deal. Your sweater's got big holes, it's a bigger deal. You want your hats and boots, and ultimately you want your sweater. So this is the complete package of what you should look like when you go out in the winter, and also what your house should look like when you go out in the winter. So the question is, okay, I know my house is drafty, it's cold, my energy bills are skyrocketing. How do I know what to fix? We need a comprehensive home energy audit. So now we're going to get into the audit itself. An energy audit will help homeowners make decisions about saving money and conserving energy. The other thing, as a benefit to this, right, saving money is wonderful, conserving energy is wonderful, but the instantaneous benefit that you get if you implement some of the recommendations in an energy audit is comfort. When that truck leaves the driveway, you immediately feel a difference in how your house feels in terms of draftiness, cold rooms, and just a more evenness of temperature. There are three categories of audit services. We do a visual inspection. Anybody in this room think this hole through the furnace ceiling is a good thing? Probably not. These are all pictures of real life houses, by the way, that we've audited and or fixed. We do diagnostic testing. That's a blower door, that's a duct blaster. Basically, visual is you walk around and you look for stuff. You look for stuff to find. Diagnostic, so when we pull up to a house, we're looking at the house, we're finding holes, we're seeing, and we're guessing, and we're saying, I bet you that, we're not really guessing, but we're playing a game with ourselves. I bet you that room is cold. I bet you have airflow over here. And what the diagnostic testing is doing is the science behind it and proving our hypotheses. And then we do an analysis and report, and essentially that's the audit report itself, which gets delivered, and kind of the numbers behind it. How much energy will you save? How much electricity were you using? Let's talk about the visual inspection first. We go around and we do an exterior evaluation. Our primary concern in any of these tests that we do is health and safety. We want to see, if there's a situation that's developing and health and safety is the issue, you don't wait for the report, we tell you right then and there. We look for signs of heat loss. You see those icicles there? There are a ton of them around Westchester this winter. I'm going to show you later a thermographic image of something similar to that. See that house there? I don't know if you guys could see that, but you see this striping on the roof? Anybody see that on their own roof? Okay, what that is so I know by looking at this house before I even pull into it that there's heat escaping through the attic and up into the environment because the frost is staying on the area where the ceiling rafters are, the roof rafters, and the other areas the frost is melting. The only way that it can do that if it's getting heat up and out. If this was a perfectly sealed roof, either here or up here, and we'll talk about that later, you wouldn't be getting any of that. That's your classic Westchester Somers dryer vent, which is filled with lint, and it allows not only airflow back into the house, but little creatures, little four-legged guys. We refer to those as rodentia. In an interior evaluation, again, health and safety. Anybody think storing paint cans on top of your boiler is a good idea? Not really. This was amazing. This was a house, it's actually in Stamford. She didn't understand why her kitchen was cold. This was directly above a heating register, and the air was literally, I mean, when we did a test on it, literally flying out of her house through this soffit that she just decided not to patch. Soffits and kitchens and anywhere in the house is a huge place for energy loss if it's not installed properly. And over here, this is a classic. This is actually a friend of mine. This is a house in Pound Ridge. He had freezing pipes in his attic, so what did he do? Put a towel around it, because that's what everybody should do in their attic on their freezing pipes. We're also visually looking at, we're going to test all of these later, but we're looking at heating and cooling systems. We're looking for health and safety again. How about this? That's a burner. That's a flame. How about all these cardboard boxes around that? Not a wonderful idea. We're looking at the sources of heat, a boiler, a furnace, geothermal, solar thermal, etc. And we're looking for how your heating and cooling is being distributed. I would say 1 out of every 3 attics we go into, we have a heating supply disconnected from its trunk line. Again, this was somebody's master bath. I always wondered why it was cold. Well, that's a good reason. That was actually the same house where you saw the striping on the roof. So this is one of the reasons, was because the heat that was supposed to go to her master bath was heating her attic and melting the snow. Insulation, another visual inspection. Again, we're looking for health and safety, and we're looking for quality of insulation. This stuff is nasty to breathe in. This is vermiculite. We don't like that. This is a very well insulated hot water heater. Number one, the insulation is installed upside down, right? You always should have the foil face to the heated side, right? And there's no insulation over here, so they had some hi-hats put in their kitchen, and the electrician took out the insulation, didn't put anything back. Her hi-hats here were 100% connected to the outside environment.